Hi, I'm Harrison Keeley. Here's a quick look at today's top stories. First of all, a Hixson couple has been arrested after a mentally disabled woman was discovered living in a dirty room with feces on the floor. Florence and Kenneth Headrick are accused of abusing Florence's 35-year-old daughter, Tammy Sharp. Sharp had been living with the pair on North Prairie Circle. Relatives say she functions at about the same level as a 3-year-old child. After a tip, authorities found Sharp living in a room full of spiderwebs, mold, trash, and feces. Relatives say the woman was forced to use the bathroom in a bucket. Now Sharp is being cared for by her sister and her aunt. The Headricks were charged with physical abuse or gross neglect of an impaired adult. Their bail was set at $99,000. A Chattanooga woman has been charged with prostitution near a school. 19-year-old Megan Alana Peppers was contacted by an undercover officer responding to her online ad. Police say she agreed to perform sex acts for $275. Then she arrived at a home in Red Bank for the job. There she was placed under arrest. She's scheduled to appear in court August 4th. Bites from brown recluse spiders are on the rise. Doctors from the Tennessee Poison Center say the bites usually heal well if left alone, but people can have different reactions, and a lesion accompanied by a fever or muscle pain can be life-threatening. Brown recluses can be found in dark areas like closets, basements, or around your bed. It's also a good idea to shake out clothing or shoes before putting them on. Complaints of vote buying are under investigation in Polk County. District Attorney Steve Crump has sent criminal investigators to the county's election commission. The vote buyers were said to be offering $15 or a Xanax tablet, but that hasn't been confirmed. Polk Elections Administrator Steve Gaddis says residents are setting records for early voting this year. The hot race is for sheriff between Rocky King and Steve Ross. Crump asks any voters who are approached or harassed to call his office. An Alabama man claims his penis was mistakenly amputated. Johnny Lee Banks Jr. went to the hospital for what was supposed to be a routine circumcision, but when he awoke after his surgery, his penis was gone. Now he's suing Princeton Baptist Medical Center in Birmingham. He says no one ever warned him that amputation could result from the procedure. According to the lawsuit, Banks was never told what led to the amputation. The hospital says his claims are without merit. A watchdog group is calling the new round of incentives given to Volkswagen excessive. VW got $274 million in government aid to build a new SUV at its Chattanooga plant. But Philip Matera with Good Jobs First says the city, county, and state may have overpaid. The incentives amount to nearly $140,000 in taxpayer money per job created. Matera says anything more than $50,000 per job is excessive. Both the city and county may dip into financial reserves to pay for the incentives. An ex-deputy who pleaded guilty to sodomy and sexual exploitation of children will get to keep his shorter prison sentence. Former Catoosa County Deputy Stephen Crossan was sentenced to 2 years behind bars by Judge Ralph Van Pelt Jr. According to an indictment, Crossan engaged in oral sex with a 16-year-old girl and had naked photos of her. Usually those charges lead to a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison, but because he was a first-time offender and didn't use force, the judge was allowed to ignore the mandatory minimum sentence. District Attorney Buzz Franklin filed an appeal, but the court ruled against him. EPB has taken the first step to expand gigabit internet to cities beyond Chattanooga. Right now, Tennessee law prevents utilities from offering high-speed internet outside their service areas, but EPB has submitted a formal petition to the FCC to allow it to expand its network. If the FCC rules in EPB's favor, the utility says it will consider expanding to any community that requests it. Finally, J. Crew Factory plans to open a new store at Hamilton Place Mall. The shop will open later this year. Turning to weather, today will be mostly sunny with a high near 90 degrees. The low tonight will be around 65. That's it for today's newscast. Thanks for being with us. You can find more on these stories and breaking news all day long at timesfreepress.com.